Good morning, everybody, and thank you all for coming to our top producer panel today. Really appreciate everyone's participation. I'm Carmen Aram, the president of the board of Glendale Association of Realtors, and I'm delighted to be here in your presence today. We have a great program set up for you, and this is one of the first of our top producer panel series that we're rolling out. And I'm extremely appreciative of the efforts of my colleague, Adora Beal, who's also our treasurer, for standing in as the panel moderator. And of course, I'm thankful to our panelists who've attended today, and I will mention them by name, one by one. I want to first begin by acknowledging and welcoming Live Escrow, who's the sponsor of our event today. CEO of Live Escrow, Avo Shilvarju, has been a great friend of the association and are always forthcoming in terms of sponsoring some of our events, and we truly appreciate your efforts. Avo, I would love for you to say a couple of words about your business. I know that you're in the escrow business, so if you want to come to the podium for just a quick minute, thank you.
Well, I wasn't ready for this, but I'm just going to say a few words. Well, can I grab the mic out? Okay, I used to do this one. All right, good morning, everyone. And I will say thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be part of this amazing association. And of course, I'm happy always to be there for everyone, regardless their agent or any other business. I'm happy to see Teresa, Artin, and Thomas here because I know they're awesome. They're knowledgeable, as we can learn something today about all that. And so I'm Avo from Live Escrow. I've been in business almost 17 years. And we have an awesome team, Melcon and the rest of the ladies in our unit. Any question, anything, we are there for you. Don't hesitate to call Escrow because we are there to answer questions, to help you guide your clients from A to Z. We walk them through. Even though if you don't open with us, it's okay, just call us, we will help you. We like to be there for our community. Best of luck, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure it's going to be an awesome event. I don't want to take longer your time, and let's enjoy this event. Thank you so much.
Also, we have a bowl at that table back there. Don't forget to put your business cards in there because Avo has a prize for us, and at the end of the event, we will be doing a drawing. With the panel that we have today, we want to learn from our top producers in our area the secret to their sauce. What is it that they do that makes them successful, particularly in this difficult market? And I'm sure that this will be an opportunity for all of us to walk away with a few nuggets and maybe our own conclusion in terms of how we want to approach our own business and what are some of the things that we want to implement within our business in order to be successful. We are in a tough business, folks. There's no question about it. So today we have Thomas Atamian from Compass with us, Teresa Teramanian from Coldwell Banker Hallmark Realty, and Artin Sarkisian from the Art in Real Estate. Yes. And we can't wait to hear from you guys. How is it that you approach your business and what makes you successful in this marketplace? But before we get started, let me just get a couple of things out of the way. Our YPN chair is here with us, Drokar Apetyan, and I want you to acknowledge him and congratulate him. He got his degree from CSUN yesterday. Good job, Dro. He's a very dedicated member of the association, and he has organized the bowling night, which is on June 14th. It's a Wednesday at 6 o'clock at Jewel City Bowl here in Glendale. So please join. Come over. Let's have some fun. Everybody's asking for opportunities to get together in person. So here's another opportunity for us to mingle and, get to know each other a little bit better. Also, on June 21st, at the Oakmont Country Club at 8:30 in the morning, we will have our State of the Association gathering, and also we will announce the winners of our election We are we are in election mode here for directors as well as 3 officer positions. So please do get involved in the matters that affect the association and affairs of our business, and do vote for the individual that you think will do a good job for the association, and get involved. Guys, I just came back from, well, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, from Washington, D.C., attending the NAR meetings, and let me tell you, our advocacy matters a lot. If we don't get involved in this business, if we don't speak up, if we don't fight for our property rights, nothing will get done. And the lawmakers will pass whatever it is that they want to pass, right under our noses. So let's get involved, pay attention, and care about this business, because you know what? It's going to affect your bottom line at the end of the day also, if you just sit aside idle and do nothing. So on the 21st of June, we will have State of the Association, as well as we have invited the General Counsel of California Association of Realtors, Gov Hutchinson, who is a fabulous speaker, a very dynamic speaker, and a hell of a funny guy. He will also come and do a presentation. His presentations are typically charged, and we're offering this to our members for free. So please do come. There will be a lot of learning for you. And with that, now I would like to turn the podium over to my colleague, Adora Beal, to get started with our discussion today.
Good morning. How is everybody today? I'm really excited about this panel, and just a little bit of background on each one of our people. Would you like to come up? Artin Sarkisian, Thomas Atamian, and Teresa Tarmanian. In looking at choices that we had to choose for this panel today, are you guys in the right place? Oh, okay. All right. All right, I thought I put Artin over here. Sorry about that. Anyway, in choosing these guys, I looked at their overall presence in the community and in their business. Their production is a big piece of it. And also, I wanted to choose a broker who had agents under him and who I've known for a long time. He's come up in the business and is extremely successful. And Teresa and Thomas, well, I just have no words for their production. But anyway, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on each one of them. Artin Sarkisian discovered his passion for real estate in middle school when he learned that owning properties and collecting real estate create wealth. His interest only grew stronger in his senior year of high school when he was given the opportunity to manage a multi-unit building. I made a lot of mistakes at first, but I learned fast, developed my people skills, and knew I had a true passion for the business, he said. After graduating from Herbert Hoover High School, tongue twister, Artin pursued a degree in business and marketing at California State University, Northridge. During his time at CSUN, he continued to educate himself about real estate and managed other properties, further fueling his passion. Artin's first professional experience in the real estate industry was as an intern for a realtor at Citywide Realty. He studied hard and took his real estate exam, became a licensed realtor, and year after year he improved his skills and became a top producer at the company. To further enhance his abilities, Artin hired a real estate coach who helped him become the most successful agent in his town. As his transactions grew in number, he built a team to work with him. His unparalleled focus on marketing and advertising, along with his honest and client-driven approach, led to a remarkably fast-paced success. In 2015, Artin became a broker and opened his own brokerage, The Art in Real Estate. He has since closed over 300 real estate transactions per year and now has 45 agents working for him. As he continues to grow his business, Artin coaches and motivates his agents to reach their full potential. Despite his busy schedule, Artin is dedicated to coaching and motivating his agents, hoping to help them each achieve the same level of success that he has achieved. Pretty awesome. Teresa Termanian has done 135 transactions in 2021 alone, and 116 million in volume. She's ranked the 16th agent in all of California by transaction size. She's recognized as the best agent in her company and top 3% of all Caldwell Banker realtors worldwide. She speaks 4 languages fluently to help connect with her clients on a personal level. She's passionate about life, as any of you know who know her. Her real estate and her 10-year-old daughter, otherwise known as future top realtor. She has sold out her first master class within a week and is working on her second one. Teresa Termanian. And last but certainly not least, Thomas Atamian is an award-winning realtor specializing in the representation of high net worth and celebrity clients. Thomas' 19 years of experience and his immense passion of real estate has earned him the trust of both celebrity, business, and professional athletes and entertainers. It is an important niche market that is in equal parts real estate and concierge. Thomas is the founding member of Thomas Atamian and Associates. He works with the highest level of integrity and customer service. As an agent, Thomas provides a sophisticated yet personable experience with access to a comprehensive worldwide marketing program. He's earned powerful positive testimonials from not only his clients but also from other real estate agents. Thomas is a member of the USC Verdugo Hills Hospital Foundation Board and also serves as the co-chair of USC Verdugo Hills Golf Classic for 2023. He serves as an active member on the YMCA of the Foothills Board of Directors. Thomas served as a volunteer assistant basketball coach at the La Cañada High School for 14 years and has successfully completed 10 marathons. He has previously served as the vice president of Marquette's Southern California Alumni Club. Thomas is a supporter of Think Cure, a charity that distributes donations to the Los Angeles Children's Hospital as well as the City of Hope, the American Heart Association, March of Dimes, and the Jimmy Five Foundation. He's a founding member of his Compass office. He has sold over $1 billion in real estate, and he's top 1% of real estate agents nationwide. Thomas Atamian. So I'm sure you can see we are in very excellent company today, and I can't wait to pick their brains. Okay, so I'm just going to start with what year were each of you starting the business? What year did you start?
2005.
2005?
End of 2017.
Speak real loudly. Can you guys hear them?
End of 2017.
Okay, and Artin?
7th grade. Licensed 2005.
2005. Okay, great. So, a question. How do you see the market as different from when you started to now? Artin, start with that.
Well, for instance, there's a lot more competition right now in the market. Hello?
There you go.
Is it working? So there's a lot more competition right now in the market from when I started. I feel like we just have to advertise more, be more client-oriented than what it was before. I don't feel that in the beginning there was a lot more realtors or people who were passionate about real estate 20 years ago, 25 years ago than they are now. So basically that's how the market shifted.
I think these two gentlemen are better to speak about the differences in market because considering I've been in the business much less, but I do see a lot of differences from the time I've joined versus what's happening now. I remember when we would get listings signed, the ink wasn't dry yet and the house was sold. You remember those days? So it felt really easy. It was like, oh my God, this is how easy it is to sell real estate. And then today, or the past year as it slowed down, you have to put in an effort. Like, you have to stage the house, you have to do the gardening, you have to paint, you have to make sure you put in a lot of effort in marketing the property to get maximum exposure because it's not selling as fast. And then you have to have those tough conversations with sellers, setting proper expectations, and vice versa with buyers. So I've definitely seen a transition in the business where it requires much more knowledge, experience, expertise, negotiation skills to stand out in today's market versus a few years ago, anyone was a top realtor. You know what I mean?
I do. Thomas?
Yeah, I mean, so I got in 2005 when the market was starting to heat up, and then I lived through, the crash, and it feels a little bit similar, not in terms of the crash, but, a lot of realtors got into the business during COVID. Everything was easy. There was a lot of transactions out there. And so, for me, I had to double down. I had to work extremely hard. I moved here from Chicago. I didn't know anyone. And so in 2008, 2009, when everything started to crash, maybe 10 or 15% of the agents got out of the business. And so I'm seeing that a lot now, 10%, 15% attrition rate. And so it's a testimony to you guys being here today. And the fact that, if you put in the work now, you're going to be at the front of the line when the market really comes back strong. And that's what really helped me at the beginning. And, now this is the time to, gain market share. So.
Okay, good. So just some foundational stuff. When you got started, did you have seed money to carry you through? And then the second piece of that is, how long do you think you worked before you actually had your first transaction? Thomas?
I definitely didn't have any seed money. I moved here with about $500 in my bank account, but I basically did any kind of jobs. I mean, there was no Uber, there was no Postmates back then. I probably would have done that a lot, but I bussed tables, I waited tables, did whatever I could, worked security, whatever I could do to pay the bills because I knew my passion was in real estate. And so anything I could do to, make money on the side so that I could, kind of moonlight as a real estate agent at the time. What was the second part of the question?
I don't remember.
Seed money? Yeah.
Rewind, please, thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, basically anything I could do to keep the lights on so that I could hustle in real estate.
So wait, just real quick. So you started as a part-time agent?
I always considered myself a full-time agent, but I would, I'd work nights at a restaurant and,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Definitely no seed money here. And in fact, one of the reasons why I loved real estate is it required minimal financial investment on my part to really get started. And I wasn't in a position to invest so much in a business at the time. I did start part-time, although I put in the hours as a full-timer, so no one even guessed that that was my part-time job because I dedicated so much of me. I mean, no breaks, no vacations, no nothing, and I still had a smile on my face. But I think what I recommend to everyone, really, especially the ones that are new in the industry, or even at times when it's slow, you have to have a steady source of income to take care of your biggest financial worry, right? To take care of your family, your financial assets, et cetera, et cetera. Once you take care of that, it is so much easier to focus on your passion, to really put in your time and energy into something that you love. But if your clients can see the desperation, they can feel the desperation, sometimes you're not really in it to do the right thing for the client, but you're in it to make money. When I had a good paying job, I was a manager at Apple, when I was showing homes to my clients, they had no doubt that I was desperate to make money. They saw, I would talk them out of buying certain properties because I felt like that wasn't the right thing for them. When you eliminate the financial concern in any business, it allows you to see clearly, to work better, to work harder, and your clients can tell how genuine you really are. So that's what I recommend.
Perfect.
So the first part of the question was,
Did you have money?
did I have seed money?
Seed money, yeah.
So I didn't have seed money per se, but I was living with my parents. I was young.
Well, that's seed money.
So that's why I said per se. So the way it worked out was I sent out some flyers, and you guys know I do a lot of flyers. I sent out flyers, I got a listing, I double-ended it, I put the money back into the business, I sent out more flyers, I got a listing, I double-ended it, sent out more flyers, I got a listing, I double-ended it. So it was a lot easier back then because there wasn't this much competition. And then I just kept growing the business and just putting all the money back into marketing over and over again, and basically then hired my coach and went from there.
Okay. Now, I remember when you started, you sent out, was it 60,000 a month?
Well, right now it's
No,
about,
when you started doing your mailings, you
Oh.
sent out how many?
when I first started, it was 5,000 a month.
5,000, and now you're up to
I'm up to about 1 million flyers a year.
a year.
A
How
year.
many a month is that? About?
As we're sitting here, there's 50,000 being delivered to the office for May. For June, but with the just listed, just sold, it'll probably be close to about 80, 90,000 a month.
Okay, that's outrageous. I mean, I can't even imagine. So, obviously, it's paying off for you, otherwise you wouldn't spend that kind of money to market.
Correct.
So I'll get to you guys, I want to know what you guys have to say too, but anyway. You do just listed, just sold, and what else?
I do just listed, just sold, and the multi-listed flyer with all the properties, just listed, just sold, and then I do a brochure on top of that.
Okay, all right. Teresa, what do you do for marketing?
I have yet to send out a flyer because how do you compete with 80 to 90,000 a month?
I know.
So I thought, don't touch that. Artin has it covered. You're good. I think, people assume when you do really good, people assume they're like, oh, she had a big book of business entering the business. I had 0 book of business when I entered the business. I used to be in the financial industry at Wells Fargo, but at the time I had no intention of being in real estate. So I wasn't sitting there gathering client information so I could transition them into real estate. I started with 0. And when you start with 0, the first thing you got to do is make sure that people get to know you. And that was my only focus, but I had to do it for free. And the only way you can do it for free is by utilizing social media. So every platform you would open, you would see this face, because I couldn't afford the flyers, so you would see this face smiling and introducing myself to the community. And I was really involved in the community as well. I still am. Every big event, I'm very passionate about what's happening in my country. I'm very passionate about supporting Armenian businesses. We live in Glendale, so we're surrounded by Armenian businesses. So every chance I get to support and show my presence, I do it, no matter how busy I get, because I know that's what got me going in the beginning. So I never forget that. So being involved in the community, utilizing free social media platforms to really get to know the people and allow them to get to know you. That's really what got me going. I did all the things you're supposed to do, like door knock, open houses, cold calling, and then I picked the one that I loved doing because I realized if I'm not enjoying the process, there's no way I'm going to succeed. I've been kicked out of buildings because I was door knocking too much. I've been yelled at, cursed at, all the fun stuff you've done, I've been through it. But one thing that separates people that succeed versus the ones that don't, it's not because we don't fail. We fail all the time. We just don't quit, right? So I never quit. That was the difference maker for me.
Perfect. Thank you. Thomas?
So I had a similar. I moved out here from Chicago and didn't know anyone. So, and I'm more of an introvert than I'm not going to go to a party and kind of work the room. So, for me it was more about being organic and being authentic to myself. And so the first thing I did was join the Alumni Association for Marquette. There wasn't a lot of us out here, but there was enough where I could start to make. We each have that commonality that we both went to the same college, and I had a passion for giving back to coaching. My dad's a college baseball coach, so I love basketball, I love kids, and so I volunteered at the Y. I was a camp counselor there. I came back, I volunteered at the YMCA to coach basketball. I ended up coaching at La Cañada High School. It's like 6 days a week, pretty much year round. But it was something that I was passionate about. So it didn't feel like I was, volunteering my time. And then I just started to make connections from there. Now I'm, I advertise on the back of the La Cañada Outlook, the local newspaper. It's delivered to 99% of the La Cañada residents. I have the sanitizing station at Ralph's. I mean, it's multiple touch points, But when I first started, it was more of just volunteering for causes and, you know, things that I was passionate about in my life. And that just organically made connections, and then real estate would just, you know, come up. And then, you know, the goal is to just be a market expert, so when that conversation does come up, you're able to speak intelligently and close the business there.
So I want you to notice three things about these people. Three very different personalities, three very different approaches, three very successful endings. Not endings, but progressions. We'll say that. Where Artin, you know, put his money out there and exposed himself to thousands of people and got the benefit of that. Teresa utilized social media on steroids. And Thomas has become successful from a socially interactive dynamic, which is, in my opinion, not to be underestimated. It's a relationship business, and building relationships apart from real estate can't be underestimated. So that's just an editorial comment. I have the right to do that. Okay, so next question. Let's start with you, Teresa. Do you have a coach?
I think everyone's my coach. Like, I'm here today, he's my coach, hearing you speak, that's my coach. I make the best of every situation. I've never hired a professional coach, but I was a sponge, especially in the beginning of my career. I was like a fly on the wall. I was super quiet. You can imagine how difficult that was for me. But I was taking in.
I don't believe that for a minute.
Okay, maybe I wasn't super quiet. You have me there. Okay, I was not super quiet. I was a loud fly on the wall, okay? And I was watching and observing and taking in as much as possible. I'm surrounded by an amazing broker, Rick Bognati and Angela. Yeah, so they deserve a round of applause. Absolutely. Like a wealth of knowledge. Every time I feel lost, one call away, there's my coach right there. So I've always believed in making the best of every situation, and I've partnered with like the best in the industry in every category. Like, I know the best attorneys, I know the best lenders, I know the best insurance agent, et cetera, et cetera. So that allows me to pick their brain, to always be on top of what's happening, going on in the market, what's happening in their industry. Because our clients don't just come to us for real estate needs, they come to us for their biggest financial decision. And for them to trust us, we can't just be good at one thing. We have to be good at everything. So that's how I stay on top of what's happening, is really surrounding myself with quality people. I mean, kudos to all of you for being here, because this shows you're taking the right approach and taking time out of your business, your family, your busy schedule, and you're finding value, like golden nuggets that are being delivered on a daily basis. So that's my answer.
Sorry. You mentioned that you have a coach. Talk to us about that.
Had a coach.
Oh, you had a coach. Okay.
So-
how long did you have one?
So when I first started, I was, again, putting all the money into marketing. At that time, there was a lot of seminars. Every couple of weeks, I would go to a seminar. I would drive to Orange County, wherever it was. I would just sit there, and you know, my old broker told me, before the seminar is over, 10 minutes before, make sure you walk out before they start selling you stuff. So 10 minutes before, I would run out, but I would take all the knowledge that I can. And then once I started having more money, I hired the Tom Ferry organization. I signed up to their elite coaching program. And I did that for well over a year. Honestly, it changed my career. Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, you know, they're great organization. If you're a new agent, I really highly recommend it. It will change your career. I tell my agents all the time, it's like, okay, here's the gym and there's a treadmill, go figure it out, or you have some trainer actually on top of you every single day teaching you exactly what you need to do. And I never said no. I never said I don't want to do this. I never said I'm not going to do this. You know, I've met with a lot of the brokers in town. I've taken a lot of pointers, even Teresa's broker, Rick. We've met many times when I was younger, and you know, I've learned a lot from him and my old broker. And you know, you just take pointers from every single person, as Teresa said. and just become a sponge and just don't say no until you find what works for you.
Thanks. Thomas? Coach or not?
So yeah, I have an active coach, Chirag Shah. He was the director of coaching for Compass, and then he opened up his own, and he only teaches Compass agents. But I've had multiple coaches in the past, and I think, you know, Chirag is kind of the perfect mix. You know, just like I'm a coach for basketball, you have to teach every kid a little bit differently, and everybody learns in a different way too. So I've had a coach which was like just a cheerleader and would just kind of, you know, tell me I'm doing great and everything. And, you know, that's not what I needed. Nobody needs to, you know, pat me on the back or, you know, all that. And then I had the opposite where I had kind of a military type coach where was always yelling at me and telling me, you know, I'm not making enough calls and I'm not doing this and trying to motivate me. And at that same time, like, I don't need anybody to motivate me. I'm, you know, self-motivated on that. So it's kind of, you know, finding the right person. Chirag for me is kind of right in the middle. And, you know, he's done it. So, you know, just like when you're working with a trainer, you kind of want the trainer to be in good shape. You want, you know, you want the real estate coach to have done it himself. And so he's done a lot of the things that I'm, you know, following the path down. And so he's just, you know, no BS. I mean, he gets right to the point, but he's motivating when he needs to be, and he kind of deals with each person a little bit differently. So it's changed my business ever since I started coaching with him. I mean, my business has gone up by 60%.
So Thomas, what's your biggest takeaway from currently coaching? Because you gave us two extremes, and now you've got someone that's a balance for you. But what's the biggest takeaway for you?
So for me, you know, the biggest thing that I learned is like you really have to work your sphere of influence and the people that know, trust, and like you, and that have worked with you. And, you know, what I started to realize is that, you know, in this business, you go from deal to deal, and you're working on the next deal, and you close one, and you're already looking ahead to the next one. And, you know, we really have to change the stigma of this business as, you know, we're just, you know, a lot of those people out there think we're just looking for a commission check. Right. And, you know, then they don't hear from us for 2-3 years. And, you know, then, you know, sometimes we'll see, you know, homes listed with a different broker, you know, 2-3. I checked the MLS and I'm like, didn't that person just buy with them a couple years ago? And then it's listed with a different person. And, you know, that's our fault for not following up. And so I think, you know, Chirag has really pushed me to, you know, have client events every year, multiple client events every year. But also just the free follow-up is, you know, handwritten notes. You know, I mastermind with my friend Agent R over there, and we kind of challenge each other to, you know, send out at least 2 handwritten notes every day, and we'll send the picture to each other just for you know, for proof of that we did it. And you know, handwritten notes. You start the day, you feel good when you write a handwritten note to someone, and the person that receives it feels good. So we kind of start our day that way. It's a great way to start the day. So, you know, handwritten note, phone calls, you know, everybody's texting, everybody's emailing. It's like you kind of have to do what everybody's not doing. So.
Okay, so I'm not done with you. So tell us what you say to these people when you write them a note or when you call them.
So yeah, so
Show us the photo.
it's really just about, you know, a lot of times it's just about gratitude, and you know, or you came into my mind. You know, I've done I haven't done Tom Ferry, but I just reread the Ninja book. I don't know if you guys have done the Ninja training or I think that kind of lines more with, you know, my style, and more just gratitude, or you know, I drove by your house or just want to check in on you. It doesn't have to be long. You know, we should catch up for lunch. I mean, and then follow through with it. Yeah.
So do you notice something about what he's telling you? Has he said anything about, do you want to sell your house? No. He's showing these people that he cares about them. How's your life? What have you been doing? I saw your house today and it made me think of you, and I just wanted to say hi. Perfect. Thank you. I want to hear from both of you guys on your follow-up with your past clients.
So I think when you are annoyingly, or you said on steroids, social media on steroids, when you are annoyingly in front of their face, that's like an easy way to remind them that you exist, right? And I always interact with my clients. So one trick I do is when people ask me for my business card, first of all, I don't carry any. My first response is, you don't know me? My second response is, find me on social media, and I follow them back. So I create a connection right there. So it's one thing to hand a business card. It's another thing to open up your world to them and say, hey, here's me. I'm not just a realtor. I also do this for fun. I also have a daughter. I have a family. I have this. I have that. So they get to connect with me and remember me. And I do the same in return. So I don't just look at them, oh, this is just a client. No, I know their dog's name. I know where they went on vacation. I know what they did last summer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think building that connection and constantly interacting with them on social media allows you to be present in their life, right? And you don't let them forget about you. Another thing for follow-up, and I did this a lot in the beginning, it's become a little bit more difficult as my client base grew, but I did a lot of personalized videos. I remember the first or second year for Christmas, I did a personalized video for every single client with their name on it. And I wished them, you know, whatever I wanted to wish them, and something about our story together. And my phone crashed because of the amount of videos that I sent. So I realized maybe this wasn't the best approach. As my business keeps growing, I don't know if I'll be able to send so many videos to so many people, but it takes less than a minute for each person, and the impact it has is huge. You know, it's impossible for someone to open their phone, to see your smiling face, to see a personalized video, and not react to it. So I got a lot of reactions from there. And I had a few clients send me videos back, and it was our form of communication as we went. But yeah, those are some of my tips.
Thank you. Artin.
So the way I follow up with past clients is I do a little mixture of what Teresa and Thomas said. So I do get their social media, and then I'll interact with them on social media and comment on their stories and whatnot. But once I close a transaction, they go into another database.
Stop.
And
What database do you use?
I used to use Top Producer, and that got out of control. And now I use this very sophisticated software called Excel.
So you don't have to spend a lot of money on a database. Okay, go on.
So everything's on Excel. So when these flyers come out every quarter, they get something from me.
Nice.
Put it in an envelope, send it. Again, what Teresa said is you just have to show them you still exist. So they get the flyer and they see me on social media, and I do the interaction with them as well. So
Excellent.
it's a little mixture of each.
This is good stuff. Are you guys enjoying this? I'm learning a lot. Yeah. Okay. I have a few more questions for you guys, but you'll notice that there are some 3x5 cards on the table and some pens. If you have a specific question that you would like to direct to one of these individuals, write a question, raise your hand, and we'll have someone come by and pick them up, and I will ask them. So, yeah. So moving on. What do you think the most important technology piece you use is? I know we've talked a little bit about this. Let's start with you. There's so many, the reason I'm asking, there's so many apps, there's so many programs, and agents think, oh, I've got to spend $1 million on all these programs. So what would you say your top 3 are, if you have 3?
Excel.
Okay, see, there you go.
The social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, they're huge, obviously. And our number one, the MLS.
Okay. I love that. Simplicity. Okay.
Your phone book, right? Your phone contacts, that should be your biggest tool. I tell this to new agents all the time. They're like, how do I start? I say, take out your phone, pull up your contacts, you already have a book of business. If you've had enough of an interaction for you to save their number in your phone, that means you should be confident enough to approach them and tell them you're a realtor and you're here to help them. So contacts is number one. Number two is my notes app. It's less complicated than the Excel he's using. So if anyone gets a hold of my notes, you officially have my entire book of business right there. The reason why I love it, when you're on the go, and I'm always on the go, you can quickly go in there, put down whatever you need to. If you had a client interaction, if there's a follow-up, if there's something you want to notate, an address, whatever it may be, notes is my savior. So really quick, easy, you don't have to invest any money into it, right? Just get the latest version of an iPhone because it's embarrassing if you don't have it. No big deal, right? So, and then
As one who used to work at Apple.
yeah, no, I'm still promoting them. And the third would have to be social media. If you are, in today's day and age, I don't care how many years you've been in the business, I don't care what worked for you 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago. In today's day and age, if you're not actively promoting your business on social media, then you're a few steps behind. So if you want to catch up, you have to be out there promoting your business.
Yeah, so I think Compass is obviously at the forefront of technology. We use a lot of their tools. The two biggest are probably the CRM that we, it just keeps everything together. When we close a deal, they go into a different category. We put notes. When I write a handwritten note, I'll write in their file that I sent them a handwritten note on this day. So the CRM is really powerful, and then we have Business Tracker, which, I think it's really important for you to know your business and know your numbers. Instead of just kind of aimlessly going through, and that was kind of like the first half of my career, was just kind of going deal to deal. And I think, knowing your numbers, knowing what, how, what you are year to date, what you're trying to get, what your goal is. It may just seem silly to, this is my goal every year, but it really does help push you along and, lets you know where you are in terms of reaching that. And then I would say, social media is kind of a necessary evil at this point. I mean, it definitely gets, it gets exponential growth out there. And what we've done is kind of gone super local and created kind of a neighborhood blog. We do Living La Cañada on Instagram, and we highlight local businesses. And for us, it's all about just giving back, and it kind of works two ways, because we are creating these connections with the business owners, and we're also providing a service to anybody that's thinking about moving to La Cañada or lives there now. And so it highlights the best coffee place or the best boba place or where to find the best breakfast. It's just kind of creating one-stop shop for that, and then organically it just moves to real estate.
Okay, that's a nice segue. Business plan. Do you guys have a business plan, and how do you do it? Is it a monthly business plan? You kind of spoke a little bit about that, Thomas. Or is it an annual? You set your goals and your number of transactions and all of that. And you sound like you track yourself on a regular basis. I want to know the answer to that from you guys, but I want to hear more about your business plans and if you use one and implement it faithfully.
Yeah, so I mean, it's obviously when you get busy, it's always tough to, stay on track. So I have Sabina, she's my assistant, my right hand, so she kind of keeps me in line with everything in the back end. It's having a good team to kind of, follow up. I have a full-time social media person. As you get older, you kind of, you're not in and know about the ins and outs of social media, when to post, when to skip a post, all this. And so having a good team to kind of keep you accountable is really important. But we do like a yearly plan. I sit down with all of my agents. I have 5 agents on my team. And we'll just go over yearly goals and what you're going to do in order to achieve that. And, some of it's, I have 1,000 contacts in my phone. By the time we meet next year, I want to have 1,500 or, whatever it is. But they're very, numeric goals it's very easy. We don't want to make it complicated. We want to make it very easy to track. And, all the Compass Business Tracker makes it very easy to see, exactly where you are for the month, for the year, and all that. So a lot of it's automated.
Okay. Do you also have a marketing plan that you implement monthly, annually, and annually you create it?
Yeah, so we have we have an annual plan, and then we break it down by month, our mailers, our ads in the Outlook, everything like that. And then we have a marketing person at our company that meets with us. We meet every 2 weeks.
Okay, great. Teresa?
And this is why I love coming to events like this and interacting with other top performers, because it truly shows you that it's not one size fits all and everyone has their own journey, and yet it still works, right? So find your own signature and make it work for you. I don't have a business plan. I don't know how to track those numbers. I don't do it. I have fun doing what I do on a daily basis. And I do it around my family's needs and my family's schedule. If my daughter's school is closed, there goes my business plan. My business is closed. I have to focus around her. If I've planned a vacation for my daughter, there goes my business plan. My business is closed. I'm going to focus my time on my family. So I don't track, and I'm okay with it. I didn't get into the business to be this top producing agent. I didn't get into the business to hit records. I didn't do it. I got into the business for helping people, and I know this sounds cheesy, but it's the reality. And when you help people, and you really are in it just to help people, the results follow. They do. And then all of a sudden you get recognized and you're like, how the hell did I make it there? And then you get invited to events surrounded by amazing people like this, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm sitting at the same table as them. But I simply got into it to help people. So my focus on a daily basis is to help more people. How do I help more and more people? How do I make an impact? Because the reactions I get from them when I truly make it become reality, whether I sell their home for top dollar or I get them into escrow, that's my adrenaline rush. Like, I thrive off of that. When I do that phone call, when I get that thank you message, it means the world to me. So I want more of those. I don't have a system to track it. I'm okay the way that it's going for me, so why change something if it's working? And I have fun doing it.
Okay. Now, along with that, do you have a team?
I do have a team. I have 8 agents currently, maybe 9. It's mostly because they asked me to mentor them, they asked me to coach them, they asked me for guidance. At the time where I was super, super busy, I had them do some of my showings with buyers and help me with buyers. But, when business slows, it's really about just being a phone call away from them if something comes up, if there's a hiccup. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, Artin.
Was it the business plan? So I do have a business plan, and with the Tom Ferry organization, we put together this very extensive business plan when I was doing the coaching. Every year, all I do is just change those numbers. Do we stick to the plan? It never happens. After January, it never happens. But you know what it is? You just look at that plan every month just to stay on track. For some reason, when you have a business plan and you have something written down, you always just exceed it and excel from it. But if you don't have something written down and you wing it, you can still excel from it. She's doing it. I tell my agents all the time in January, just write it down. What are you gonna do go do the 12-month plan, then the quarterly, then the monthly, then the weekly, then the daily. And just try to have that plan going, because whatever your ultimate goal is, as long as you hit those little goals, you'll excel and achieve the big goal every year.
Okay, on that, do you have a daily schedule that you do not deviate from?
I'm in the office at between 7 and 7:30 every morning,
Okay.
no matter what, even if I don't have something. So for the last 20 years, I've never owned a home computer,
Really?
really.
Interesting.
Every time something had to be done, I would drive to the office
Wow. Okay.
until 2 weeks ago.
And why did you change your MO?
It was getting out of hand. I couldn't drive back and forth.
Ah,
And usually when I go on vacations, I have a waterproof case. I'll be in the ocean. I'll be answering my emails. And I'll have 3 of those cases, by the way.
Oh, my goodness.
And, you know, we have pictures of me in the ocean working.
Wow. So
It's-
what do you do every day? Well, you get there at 7:30.
I get there at 7:30. I'll start getting the things that need to be done without distractions, the emails, the sending out the client criteria of the properties that they're looking for. Get all those out of the way until 9 o'clock. Then 9 o'clock hits, the agents start coming in, then I'll start helping them as much as I can or whatever questions they have, and I'll just go from there. And then every day is something, like I'll just sit there maybe an hour bored, okay, what kind of marketing should I do? What should I do next, you know? And just keep going from there.
Do you actually do prospecting, like cold calling or,
I've door knocked one time in my life.
okay,
I've never cold called,
okay,
no.
okay. So,
So, sorry to cut you off.
that's okay.
My Tom Ferry coach at the time, he was closing over 100 transactions a year. And he taught me just show them who you are and they'll come to you.
That's true.
So that's why this entire flyer social media thing, well, before social media was the flyers. It's like send it out, let them see you're in the business, they'll call you. So I don't go after them. You just show them, hey, I'm here. This is what I do.
So on average, how many appointments, listing appointments, would you say you go on a week?
Including rental listing appointments?
If you have to, no.
Sale?
Yeah, sale appointments.
Right now in today's market,
Yeah,
2 a month.
2 a month, okay.
In today's market, pre-COVID, it's literally, yeah, once or twice a week.
Okay. Okay.
You know, being in the business for so long, it's now, and I have the book of business, I don't even have to go to a lot of the appointments because a lot of them are my past clients.
Right.
Though, so, as I was sitting here, somebody texted me saying, I want to sell my house. Can you send the photographer out?
There you go. All right.
So it's years of hard work and dedication to get to this level.
Thank you. Okay, let's go to Thomas. He's been quiet for a minute. So answer, do you have a schedule, a daily schedule?
So, you know, what I realized is, you know, you have to find the schedule that works best for you.
Right.
And, you know, I'm not an early morning person, but my brain just seems to work better at night. So I was always just up late, you know, answering emails because during the day, you know, you're always, you know, showing property or going to inspection or all that. And, you know, when I respond, I want to be, you know, I want it to be a thoughtful response. I don't want it to be just, you know, from an iPhone or a very quick message. You know, sometimes I'll say, you know, I'm, you know, in an appointment, I'll get back to you by tonight or something. But yeah, I mean, you have to find the hours where you're the most productive. And, you know, normally I'm in the office by 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then, you know, a lot of the mornings will be for prospecting or calling past clients or client relationships. And then I kind of leave the afternoons open for either showing property or going to appraisals, inspections, and all that. And then I always, you know, every day I try to get some kind of, you know, physical activity, trying to, you know, exercise, just not just for physical, but just for mental health, just to kind of stay sharp. I think that's really important. And you know, always setting appointments for lunch, or I belong to Oakmont, playing golf, you know, whatever it is, just to get in front of the client. I think there's nothing better than face-to-face. So, you know, I've done cold calling, I've done door knocking. I actually got one of my biggest clients door knocking. And, you know, what I always tell my agents is, you know, never pick up the phone or never knock on that door unless you're going to provide value. Because, you know, the minute you knock on the door and say, you know, would you like to sell your house? Or have you thought about selling your house? You know, you kind of lump yourself in with all those other door-to-door salesmen. And so the one time where I was successful door knocking was, you know, this was when I was first starting out, and I had an agent I was on another person's team. They had a listing on the street, and I was doing an open house that weekend. So I literally printed off the MLS flyers. I didn't have any money, and I was just handing out the MLS flyers to everyone and just telling them, listen, we're having an open house this weekend. We're serving cookies, whatever. Be open 1 to 4 on Sunday. And everybody always cares about the value of their home. Whether they're selling today or in 20 years, it's kind of like their stock portfolio or their 401k. They'd like to know kind of where it's at for value. So that's my big thing, is always provide value, no matter anytime you're interacting with a prospect.
Okay, great.
A few things I want to share. First of all, the activities you do when you're a senior realtor, when you've been doing it for quite some time, are very different from the activities you're supposed to do as a new realtor. So we're sort of spoiled here because we do have an active book of business and a flow of clients that calls us. So I know we make it sound easy, but it wasn't easy getting there. So I think what you need to focus on is what activities did we do to get to this point where our phone rings? Like, I have a listing appointment right after this. Wish me luck, but I know I'm going to get it. But our phone rings, right? And some things that I want to share with you is, open houses are huge, huge, huge. I don't think people utilize open houses the way they're supposed to be utilized. This is your opportunity to actually knock on a door and not be kicked out because you have a reason why you're there. You're inviting them to your open house, and you're welcoming them to be the first neighbor to see it before everyone else does, but you're also introducing yourself. I got some of my biggest clients from open houses. And it's funny, I was going through my phone book and I found some of my older videos when I was new in the industry. And the reason why I dug deep, Adora used my very first real estate photo for the invitation, and I was like, God damn it, I have a much better picture now. Why did she use that one? And I was so embarrassed because I was like a kid with I think my suit was from Zara. It was adorable. It was super cute, okay? So, and I was like, I can't believe she didn't ask me which photo to use. But then I thought, you know what? I embrace where I come from, and I embrace the journey I've been on, and I'm so happy with where I am now. Absolutely. Yes, I deserve a round of applause. I love you. So the reason why I'm saying is, as I was going back through my photos and videos, I stumbled upon one where I was inviting people to my open house while I was a full-time manager at Apple. I have a daughter, I have a family to take care of, and I invited people to a 5-hour open house. I was doing 5-hour open houses. It is unheard of, right? And I thought to myself, this is my only day off from Apple, so the only way I can maximize my exposure at real estate is by doing 5-hour open houses. I was crazy. And I watched the enthusiasm, the excitement, the level of energy and passion, the way I was inviting these people over, and it worked. It paid off. See, I did all these activities without a paycheck, with so much enthusiasm and passion that all of a sudden the paycheck started to follow. So focusing on the little things that take time, but I promise you they will pay off. So open houses is one big one. And another one, in this business, you have to be really flexible with change. If you're the type of person that's schedule-oriented and, from 9 to 2 is your calling time, but you get a very important client calling you and saying, can you come see my house? If you don't drop everything right then and there and go see that house, I'm going to be there, just telling you now. So I need you to understand timing in real estate is everything. I got a listing once because the agent he called over the weekend said, I'll see it on Monday. I was there Sunday morning. I got the listing before the other agent got to see it. So don't stick to the plan. The plan is simply as a guidance for you, but I need you to be flexible and prioritize what's important. And when a client calls, it's important. Drop everything and go chase that client.
Thank you. So we're winding down now. Were there any questions from the audience that anyone wants to address?
First of all, thank you guys so much. My goodness, yeah, our attendance. I have a question.
Loudly. Here, can we give her a mic?
No, I'm loud. So
Okay, really loudly, Sylvia.
Okay, thank you. Sylvia Bekdosh, Keller Williams Realty. I have a question. I've been in this business for a while now. I'm in my mid-60s, and you would think I'd be mature. How do you discipline? I work with my husband. How do you discipline your disappointments? My husband can let it go quick, Me, the Latino comes out, man. Pero viste ese hijo de su mala madre. You know what I mean? How do you, like, if you get really disappointed, how do you keep it cool and discipline your disappointments and not let it crush you for like a week or something?
Okay, so the question is, how do you handle your disappointments and move on? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Thomas, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of disappointments, especially first, starting out. I was 21 years old. I had, I looked young. I had no contacts, and I didn't have any experience in real estate. So 3 very bad combinations for that. So I dealt with a lot of disappointments. And one thing I learned is, don't experience the sadness, experience the anger, experience whatever it is. Because that's just natural. You want to get those natural emotions out. Don't try to just be happy just to be happy, to force it. That's what it's very hard to do, but, to go through the cycle of it, but to try to cut it off at 24 hours. And, really at that, whatever it is, at midnight or when you wake up the next morning, and, very wise person told me that life's happening for you, not against you. And so, there's a lot of things that happen in your life that seem that devastating to you at the time. And for whatever reason, that there was a reason for that. And something else opened up, or it would have taken up a lot of your time, or it would have been a nightmare transaction, or nightmare seller to deal with. Whatever it was, there's something else. There's a bigger plan for it. So once you get through that mindset, not to get super Tony Robbins on you, but life is happening for you, and to just try to accept that. And after those 24 hours, try to move on and focus on something else.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to start with you, Artin. Do you have a closing nugget to leave us with, a nugget of wisdom that would be invaluable for us to know from your experience?
Well, I'm going to jump on her question really
Perfect.
quickly.
Okay.
So I teach all my agents this one word.
Okay.
So obviously learn from the disappointment. Well, what's the word that I always say?
Next.
Next.
Excellent. Perfect.
That's it.
Okay.
Like real estate's all about passion, dedication, and motivation. I see people coming into this money learning from selling sunset instead of actually wanting to learn and be motivated and helping people. Somebody so-and-so sold a $50 million home, I can do it too. It's not like that. Once you have that passion, dedication, and the motivation, and you don't even think about the money, everything else is just gonna come. And it's gonna come multiple fold. I do open houses every single weekend. And my kids know from 1 to 4, I'm not available. Not because I don't want to spend time with them. I spend a lot of time with them, but I love what I do. I have a very big passion, and I'm motivated and client-driven to actually help my clients, and the money comes. So that's my golden nugget.
Thank you. Okay, Teresa?
I think something that keeps me going is stop blaming outside external problems and start focusing on you. The moment that you realize you are solely responsible for your own success, and you spend that energy in bettering yourself, in doing more for your clients, in standing out from the competition, you are going to see the results. But if you start blaming and saying there's too many realtors out there, or no one's answering the cold calls, or I'm not getting any results from door knocking, you're blaming external factors that don't really put any responsibility on your shoulders. Door knocking is not working because you're not good at it. Start focusing on other things you can do to be better. Cold calling is not working because the tone of voice you pick up phone and the mindset you have when you pick up, if it's not a winner's mentality, you're never going to succeed with that cold call. You need to stand in front of that phone and you need to act like you already have that next listing appointment. If you're not going to get it. And everything in life comes with mindset. We can allow those stressful situations to bring us down, or we can switch next. I love that word. Can I steal that word? I'm stealing the word next. we can say next and then move on to better things. There is enough business out there for everyone. Stop focusing on the one you lost, focus on the good stuff that you have going on and make it better. Yes?
Thank you. Thomas?
You know, especially in this changing market, I think, you know, the biggest thing is to be a market expert, you know, and really know, you know, forwards and backwards your market and what you want to focus in on. And I think that's, you know, the biggest thing. Like I said, if whatever you're volunteering for, whatever you're involved in, do something you're passionate about and the business will follow. But be prepared when, you know, there's so much information out there now that, you know, we used to be, when I got into the business, and even before that, it was more that we were kind of the gatekeeper. We had all the information. I'm not old enough to have like the MLS books and everything that was delivered to the office, but I know about it, yeah, the little pink books. But, you know, now the information's everywhere. They know when it was listed, who listed it, when they dropped the price, when they rented it. You know, they have all that information. There's so much out there. So now we have to be advisors. We really have to know our craft. And I think that's why, you know, this downturn we should all look at it as a positive because it's an opportunity. There's an opportunity in every market. And I think, you know, you're in the position where you can be the market expert. People can look to you in the market that you know the best and set yourself apart there. Yeah.
Thank you. So I want to personally thank the three of you for this. I think it's been invaluable. I think it's been an incredible hour. I hope you all will agree with me. And I think we can all agree that we can take away some excellent advice for bettering our own profession. So this is the end of our event. Thank you guys for coming. We had an excellent turnout. I hope you guys look forward to this because this is the beginning of a series. We'll have other panel professionals in the future, and I hope you'll all plan to come and tell your friends to come too. Thanks again and have a great day.